so intermittent, like, and we've been without now for what, 2 days, something like that.
Saturday, yeah.
So we're just like, oh, and
I mean, you're right down the street, it's close enough that it's not a huge deal to run.
not a big deal at all.
No.
And we, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I had a one.
Conrad likes you. Conrad smells.
Hi there, puppy. Hi there.
I had to mail something for one kid. I'm like, well, if I'm going in, 30 more are getting something because I'm not going to come in to mail them for one kid.
Look, Cupid and I put together a pack for 4 weeks of activities. It's a math activity.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
He's got his class. We got 3 Zooms today, and it was one of those things like we
Can't trust the. Yeah.
Right. And our hotspot's like wonky. You need a water or anything? I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, I cleaned out my fridge in the office and found a Coke, so.
Well, I had
Hello.
to plug everything out and bring it. I had to bring some stuff back today because we're probably going to be here till
3.
He says 3.
Yeah.
I hope it's like, my baby boy.
His breath might smell a little
Oh,
bit.
please, make what's for that. I'm not too concerned.
Oh. And hair. But
Everybody doing okay?
My hair right there. It's when you go home with big red hairs, people question where that came from. Sweet.
yeah, I know we just been on a hunt to steal all the envelopes that were in the hallway.
Do you let them know?
Oh, yeah, I literally went to all the tables and took the names of the things that I was going to send you. If they're not gonna do like a structured mailing, like they were supposed to.
Hopefully y'all see the Pear Deck code to go ahead and log in on there.
I said, last year, but then I never came to it.
When I play games with his kids, and it requires me to not clean up my room yet. But as soon as he's on that, I'm cleaning out for himself. It don't take that much.
No, I need to.
I'll pack all my hot pack and stuff.
You got my fridge, and then nothing in there really. I couldn't remember what had been left.
So the Pear Deck is DWMAN. Determined. Good morning. Determined watermelons memorize acidic ninjas. Not basidic, but acidic. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Let me admit. Good morning. Okay, give you a second to go ahead and join Nearpod, joinpd.com, and it's DWMAN. Let's see. Conrad. Let's see.
Man, you would go stay with us. We like you at the
He
war.
doesn't like to Zoom with me.
Max wants to be on my lap.
You know, if I'm on the couch, I can sit with him, but I've been trying to work at my dining table. He's somewhat more.
So remember the joinpd.com, DWMAN.
Maybe I go label all these. I'll debate it.
So we're going to continue talking about surface area of a cylinder, and then we're going to go to surface area of prisms by the end of the lesson, I hope. That's the plan. Does anybody have a question about how to access any of the other assignments? Just remember always, if you do, to shoot me a text. And if you need individual help, I can FaceTime you. Set up a time to do that. Okay? All right, again, give you about 30 more seconds. Join PD.EWMAN. All right, several of you have not gotten lot.
Mr. P, you're muted.
So it seems like every day when I start, comes up a Zoom issue and it pulls up video and audio stuff. So that's why I did that. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about surface area on Friday of a cylinder. I'm going to quickly remind you how that looks. You don't need to write anything, just watch the screen if you want to take a screenshot, because this is one where I've laid out the entire process of getting the surface area. So you'll recall that when I get a cylinder, there's several things that have to happen. Okay, if I want the volume of the cylinder, which is not what this slide is about, I'm going to simply get the area of the circle, which is taking the radius, which happens to be 2, squaring it, which happens to be 4, because 2 times 2, and then times pi, and then I multiply that number times. Okay, hang on. Let me let whoever's needing in. I have to stop sometimes to let people in, so. Yeah, if you'll keep it on mute so it doesn't play back like that until you're talking. All right, okay, so that's how I'd get the volume. But now, if I'm wanting to talk about the surface area, it's literally about the net. So reminder of what the net is. The net is literally the wrapping paper that would go around the soup can. So in the video on Nearpod that we did, we showed here would be the top of the soup can. Here's the bottom of the soup can. This is the actual label of the soup can. Well, we know that the label of the soup can is 6 because of the fact that the can is 6 feet, 6 inches tall, or whatever the unit is. All right. So we've got that. But what we don't know is this other side of the rectangle, because we've got to figure out this rectangle. To get that, I've got to figure out what is the circumference around this circle. Because I think you can see that if you're going around the circle with the literal can label, it's going to be the. Okay, hold up. I'm getting technical problems. Clear mouse. All right. Okay, it says I'm recording. Okay, I mean that my audio's on. Okay, so to do that, I've got to get that number. So to figure that number out, I'm going to say take the radius, double it to get its diameter. That has nothing to do with the area of a circle, which is squaring the radius. This is just doubling the radius, so that would give you the diameter. Because it's literally like, what's the diameter of the circle? Well, that's double the radius times pi. So this particular circle has a diameter of 12.56, and we're pretending like this is a barrel, meters, because I put meters on it, but it doesn't matter what the unit is. Because 4 is the diameter, and 4 times pi would be around the diameter. So if I've got a circle, through the circle is the diameter, times pi is how much it is around the circle or the circumference. Okay, let me let somebody else in. Okay, give me a second. All right. So that's how I get that. That's where the 1256 came from. But I have to then take that 1256. Let me show you where that is on here. Okay, so that then becomes this side of that rectangle, that soup can label, right? And then the 6 is the other side of it. So then I would say 12.56 times 6, and that would give me the actual area of this rectangle, which is 75.36 square units, all right? Then I got to get the area of the circle, and to do the circle, it's 3.14 times 2 squared, because it's pi times radius squared, which happens to be, in this case, 25.12 again. The weird reason for that is because 2 squared is the same as 2 plus 2, which is the diameter, right? So then that means that this little circle here is 1256. And this little circle over here is also 1256. Together, that I just have to stand here and let it run through all that. Sorry. It fills my screen with errors. All right. All right, so then that's how you get the 75.36 plus the 25.12, and that entire surface area of that cylinder, that means the top, the bottom, and around it, all the surface area would be 148 square, and we said it was meters on this one. All right, so moving on to the next slide. You didn't need to write anything there. All right, so this is a quick review from Friday. Can you text me send me on the Pear Deck, which of these is the correct surface area for this particular cylinder? Now, all you have here is just the net of the cylinder, meaning this is the top, and it has a diameter of 20, and the bottom has a diameter of 20. And then to get this rectangle here, this part, we need to do 20 times pi, and that would tell me the length of this. If I do 20 times pi, it tells me what the length of this is. And by the way, this is the harder surface area. The prism surface area is easier. There's less stuff to do, okay? So to get this, I've got to say 10 times pi to get that length, right? And then multiply that times 30, and that would give me the rectangle. Then I got to get the area of the circles and add those together. So let me go over here and let somebody else in. I think people are getting knocked out and having to come back in, right? All right. So go ahead and send me your response. Is it the first one, the second one, or the third one? Just type in your answer. I gave you choices, so you don't have to. If you look at it, you can figure it out mentally without doing the calculations, because only one of those has anywhere in the ballpark of the right answer. Plus, you may remember from Friday. And looks like everybody's ballparked it and got it right. Yeah. So it is, several people aren't yet responded. So is it?
Okay.
Okay, so, Betty or Jayla, because I can see your face. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. All right. So yeah, everybody said it was 2,512 because 20 times pi is going to be way bigger than the multiplication of those other two. So they're way too small. So it's that 2,512. Yep. I think everybody said that was the right answer. So good. Okay. So on your screen this time, will you please draw what are the measurements that I need for this volume? I'm sorry, for the surface area of this cylinder to be able to be done. all on the screen, what are the measures that I need? And you can even make up the measure if you want, or you can just say, I need a measure for this, I need a measure for this. I mean, what are the measures I would need on here to be able to get the surface area of that cylinder? And thank you guys for always coming. We have almost every single kid here. I think we're only missing like 3 kids. And that's great because y'all are in the habit of doing this because it was suggested, now it's expected that kids are doing online learning through the director of schools. So we're already in the habit. So you all were doing it before it was expected. So I really appreciate that you come every day. All right. A lot of you are saying that I'm going to need to know this line right here, this height down through here. And that height would be part of a rectangle, correct? So here's what the net would look like for this. So that would be this right here. And here it'd be over here. What I don't know is this side, but I can get it. And I don't know this side yet, right? But I can get it. Pretend like that's not crooked. And to do that, I've got to figure out about this up here, this circle, and this circle. Now, could somebody unmute and tell me, does it matter where I put those 2 circles on that net? So the question is, does it matter, Betty? Why does it not matter?
Because either way, if you fold it, the circles are still going to be at the top and the bottom.
Correct. Okay. That's exactly right. Some kids don't necessarily always understand that. That's right. That can be there. It can be there, but it could also have been here. Okay. Now, could it be here? Could it be there? Somebody that hasn't talked. Could it be
No.
over here? No. Could you tell me why?
Because that's not where the base is, unless you like turn it some type of weird way to make it go that way. But
Okay, that's the
in this
key.
situation,
Okay, Jayla, if the other circle was down here, let me put it on.
yeah.
If the circle were here, yeah, but that couldn't have one up on top and then one on the side. They've got to be across from each other. So yeah, they have to be across from each other to be correct. But it doesn't matter where on here they are because they're still going to make the top and the bottom. That's correct. Okay, so as we said, I got to have the height of the whole thing. But then to get this and this length, I've got to know about this circle. All right. So I can either give you the radius or I can give you the diameter because I can get what I need from either one, right? So if I give you the radius, this, you're like, okay. Then to get the area, I would square that. But to get the diameter, I would just double that to go down here. And then that times pi would give me, I'm gonna see if I can draw a circle around that thing. I don't know if it'll work or not. Nope. To go around that, nah, it won't work. I would literally do pi times the diameter, and then that would give me the length over here that somebody arrowed to. That's correct. All right. So yeah. All right. So moving on to the next slide. All right, now your practice for here is, will you please give me the net that belongs with this cylinder? What is the net that belongs to this cylinder. And for added awesomeness, put the measures where they would go on the net. And I'm going to be doing it on my screen as well.
I can't hear.
So draw the net that fits with this cylinder. My Zoom is not being friendly today. Make sure you're drawing on the Nearpod, on the Pear Deck, not on the actual Zoom slide, please. No box. In the bathroom. Okay, so what you're kind of looking for, and I have to say, pretty good.
My Pear Deck just kicked me out.
All right, the code again was, I think it's on here. Let me look. DWMAN.
Okay.
Okay, or you can just text me.
Okay.
Hey guys, good drawings. Most of you got it. And if you didn't, or if you haven't been able to do it, if you'll look on the screen, the Zoom screen, you can see where I drew it. So you've got the rectangle that represents this part here. Uh-oh. Represents this part. That's that. Then you got the circle here and underneath that are represented by these circles here. And could somebody unmute and tell me why I've got beside the circles 12 times pi?
Because the 12 is the diameter, and then you need to multiply that times pi to get the base, and then multiply the base times 6 inches to get the answer.
Okay, perfect. Could somebody else tell me how am I going to, okay, so that takes care of the area of the rectangle part. What about the two circle areas? Somebody who has not talked, could you tell me how am I going to get the two circle areas?
I can't hear.
How would I get the area of the two circles of the cylinder? That's the question.
You would take 12, divide it by 2 because radius is half a meter, so it would be 6.
Exactly.
Reduce times 5.
Yep. So I would get the radius, which is half the diameter, so half of or divide by 2. And then I would multiply that times itself, because that's squaring it, times pi, 3.14. Yep. All right. So going to move on to the next slide. Let me clear the screen out. And here we've got 10 times 3. I think, did we do this one already?
I don't think so.
All right, so let's go ahead and do this one. Doesn't matter, we'll practice it anyway. We won't get to all of them, but that's okay. This one will be not as hard because the numbers aren't as hard. So first thing to do is let's go ahead and get the circles first. So let's walk through it together, and then you can put your answer as we get closer, okay? So the first thing I want to do is I want to get my area of circles, okay? So they have a radius of 3. So to do that, I need 3 times 3, right? Which equals 9. And then I need to say 9 times 3.14. And 9 times 3.14 would be about 30-ish. So could somebody on the side calculate that for me? Is it 27 point or 28 point something?
It's
Yeah,
28.26.
Okay, 28.26. All right, then I need to get the rectangle part.
Mason, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
we can hear. We can hear.
Yeah,
So
we can hear.
yeah, we can hear each other, but Mr. P's audio messed up.
I know my voice is on, but I can't do anything on my screen because it blocks my screen. Now I can get back, I hope. Annotate. Annotate. Okay, text.
Mute. Why is it not mute?
So for the rectangle part, I need to do 10 times this. This being 6 times pi. Can someone tell me why it's 6 times pi, not 9 times pi? To get the rectangle's length?
Because you have to get the diameter.
Perfect. See how that's so tricky for some people to forget? Yeah, I just need the diameter, which is just double the radius, so 6. And 6 times pi would tell me the circumference of the circle, and that would actually be the other length of that rectangle. So could somebody tell me, is that like 19? That number's something like 19? What's 6 times 3.14?
18.84.
Okay. All right. Times 10. So that becomes 188.4. All right. Okay, so then 188.4 times, times 188.4 times 10, right? Which is it. Then I do 188.4 plus what? 28.26 plus another circle. So now tell me, what is the actual surface area of that whole thing? On Pear Deck. So it's going to have the answer is going to be something in the 200s, right? Yeah, the answer is going to be something in the 200s.
Do you want me to say?
Please.
It's 244.9.